so that you can refer it in the future. Okay, so let's start with the FP. I'm not going to discuss the formulas again. Do not worry. I'm just going to discuss the application of various formulas into various circumstances. Okay, so what do we understand by the future value first? Very simple meaning and understanding of the future value is that you want to know that what will be the amount you will be receiving or you will be paying. See, I'm using this word, uh, by putting the emphasis, too much of emphasis, right? What amount you are going to receive or what amount you are going to pay. So that means it is applicable to cash inflow as well, and that is applicable to cash outflow as well. But something you are going to pay or something you are going to receive in the future, and whatever the value which you are having right now is called the present value. Now we'll go into it, do not worry. So once if you have the present value, then only you will be able to find the future value. So after some point of time you want to find that, sir, what will be the value at after this many years or after this many periods. So that is the future value, and for that we follow the procedure of compounding. So everyone is clear till now? So you, at any point of time, wherever you are stuck in the interpretation of it, or you want to understand in a better way, you can unmute yourself and you can tell it to me. And I have come to know that some of the students were of the opinion that they were little bit uncomfortable while solving their queries to me. So guys, there is no need to be uncomfortable. You can call me, you can have a word with me at any point of time, and there is no need to afraid of me, and before that before I go to that, I would like to share one story to all of you. uh, uh, if you have heard about one of the renowned poets of Gujarati literature, he was Mr. Kalapi. uh, when he was passing by one field, there was one ground where pigeons were getting feeded. वो કબૂતર બધા હતા ને એ બધા ત્યાં દાણા ચણતા હતા. તો એ કલાપી ત્યાંથી બાજુમાંથી જતા હતા, અને એ કબૂતરોની વચ્ચે એક ગાય પણ હતી. There was a cow. Cow was also getting feeded. અને અમુક કબૂતર કાઉની ઉપર બેઠા હતા, અમુક કબૂતર કાઉની નીચે પોતાનું ચણ ચડતા હતા. એટલે એ કાઉ સાથે એકદમ કમ્ફર્ટેબલ હતા. પછી ત્યાં કલાપી સાહેબ આવ્યા, અને જેવા કલાપી સાહેબ ત્યાં આવ્યા ને એવા કબૂતર બધા ઉડી ગયા. એટલે કલાપીને ત્યારે એક મન થયું કે કબૂતરો ને ગાયથી કોઈ તકલીફ નથી, મારાથી કેમ તકલીફ છે. એટલે ત્યારે એમને એક કવિતા બનાવી. એ કવિતા આ પ્રમાણે કંઈક હતી કે રે રે પંખીડા સુખથી ચણજો, ગીતવા કંઈ ગાજો, શાને આવા મુજથી ડરીને ખેલ છોડી ઉડો છો. રે રે પંખીડા સુખથી ચણજો, ગીતવા કંઈ ગાજો, શાને આવા મુજથી ડરીને ખેલ છોડી ઉડો છો. આ પાસે જેવી ચરતી હતી, આ ગાય તેવો જ તો હું છું. પાસે જેવી ચરતી હતી આ ગાય તેવો જ તો હું છું. નાના તમ શરીરને કદી કઈ હાનિ કરું છું. તમારા શરીરને કોઈ દી કઈ મેં હાનિ કરી તો શા માટે ઓલા ગાયથી નથી બીતા અને હું આવું તો ભાગી જાઉં છું. એટલે that was the poem written by, that was a wonderful poem. You can refer it in the YouTube or somewhere if you are a fond of the Gujarati literature. So similar kind of a feeling I get sometimes, that there is no need to be uncomfortable while sharing your queries, while sharing your concerns. I am here for you, and in fact every faculty member is there for you. So if you have any doubt or any query, without giving a damn any thought, you can always reach out to us, right? So no need to worry about anything. And what happens sometimes in online, I may not be able to get the idea about the level of understanding you are having about the subject. If I'm taking the physical classes, no, right from the facial expressions to the body language, I can make out that whether students are getting it or not. But here there is a limitation. मेरे हाथ पांव बंधे हुए हैं और कोरोना ने बांध दिए हैं, तो मुझे मालूम नहीं पड़ता कि बच्चों को समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है, तो मेरे पास एक ही रास्ता है, आई विल बी इंटरेक्टिंग विथ यू। तो अगर आपको नहीं समझ में आ रहा है तो विदाउट एनी थॉट, without giving any thought, you can raise your concerns to me. No need to worry for anything. Okay, so this is the future value. Let's go into the topic again. Now, in the future value, there can be three types of major transactions. Number one can be single transaction. Number two can be annuity. And number three can be differential cash flows. In single transaction, say you want to invest some amount right now, and you want to know that, sir, after this many years, what will be the amount of investment? Say you are investing right now, this is the timeline of single transaction. Single transaction माने के you are investing only for the one point of time. It is not the series of investments. You are not going to invest on monthly basis or on quarterly basis or on yearly basis. No, there is no period of investment right now. You are investing only for the one point of time. Say you are investing 1 lakh rupees, and you want to know that what will be the value of this 1 lakh rupees, say after 5 years. And you want to find the FV of it. So you will be applying the which formula here? Who will say me? Who will tell me? Keep replying to me, guys. These are the various 5 years you have. You want to know the future value. So here in this case, you will be applying the formula of single transaction. And that shall be periodic compounding. If the compounding frequency is not periodic, but it is continuous in nature, it's not given to you that, sir, it will be compounded on quarterly basis or on yearly basis or on 6 monthly basis. Then in that circumstances, you will be applying the formula of continuous compounding. Right? So very simple. Here you have 5 compounding periods. Because compounding is taking place on yearly basis, you want to know that what will be the value of your investment after some years. So it's a single transaction. Then there can be annuity. In annuity, there can be majorly, primarily, there can be two types. One is annuity ordinary. Another one is annuity due. Okay. Sir, what do we understand by the ordinary annuity? First, we'll have to understand the meaning of annuity. Annuity means it is the series of investments. You are going to invest for many periods, and the frequency of the period can be quarterly, can be yearly, can be 6 monthly, can be daily as well. So it's not a single transaction. You are not investing on only for the one point of time. You are investing for the various periods. So that's why it's called an annuity. And if your investments are made at the end of every period, at the end of every period, say you are investing at the end of every month, investing at the end of every 6 months, investing at the end of every 3 months. So in those circumstances, you will be applying the formula of ordinary annuity. I'm not going into the formula right now. I'm just clarifying that what shall be the interpretation of it. So if I give you an example, say if you want to invest 5,000 rupees on monthly basis at the end of each month for 5 years. So what is the timeline of annuity ordinary? You want to invest for how many years? 5 years. You are going to invest on monthly basis. So how many total number of months will be there in the 5 years? You are going to invest for how many months? 60 months. So that shall be your number of periods. In every period, how much you are going to invest? Sir, 5,000 rupees. Now, what is your expectation from this investments? Say you are going to expect 10% per annum. So which formula you are going to apply? Ordinary annuity formula, because these investments are made at the end of every month, right? So that is the one thing. If these investments are not made at the end of every month, but at the beginning of every month. Now, month I am using, that doesn't mean month will only be applicable. It can be 6 months as well. It can be quarterly as well. It can be yearly as well. So try to understand the timeline of it again. Say you want to invest for the 5 years. Again, the same example, 5,000 rupees you are investing, but 5,000 rupees you are investing at the beginning of each month. At the beginning of each month. So at that point of time, which formula you will be applying? Sir, I'm going to apply the annuity due formula at that time. Okay. Then there can be annuity with continuous compounding. Annuity with continuous compounding. Sir, the number of periods are not given to us. Then what we will do? They have said that continuously you will have to do the compounding. Now, what do we understand by the continuous? Continuous माने के हर एक दिन को आपको कंपाउंडिंग करना है, हर एक आर में आपको कंपाउंडिंग करना है, हर एक मिनट में आपको कंपाउंडिंग करना है, कि हर एक सेकंड में कंपाउंडिंग करना है. There is no definition of continuous in nature. So that's why we'll have to use the exponential factor. Now, in this type of annuity, now this is an annuity. So it's a series of transactions. It's not just a single transaction. That also we'll have to understand again. You're going to expect some kind of a return out of it. And there is a continuous compounding taking place. Continuous mane ke there is absolutely no periodic frequency given to you. Here it was given to you straight away that compounding is taking place on monthly basis. Compounding is taking place on quarterly basis, or on 6 monthly basis, or on yearly basis. But no such information is given to you in this continuous compounding. They have straight away given to you that continuous compounding you will have to apply. It's still an annuity. Similar type of a sum would be there. But instead of periodic compounding, there would be continuous compounding. So that is a third type. Okay, so there is a fourth type as well. That is a deferred annuity. And where and in what kind of a circumstances deferred annuity can be useful? Try to understand this. Sir, if we are not going to start the investments right now, but after some period we are going to start it, then it's called a deferred annuity. As the name itself suggests, there is a deferment period coming. So let's try to understand the timeline of the deferred annuity. See, I'm giving you again an example. If I take the example of Miss Charmy, if she wants to invest 5,000 rupees on monthly basis, but after 5 years, not from now, after 5 years, and she will keep investing up to the end of 10th year, and she wants to withdraw the money after 12th year. Okay, so everyone has got it. 5,000 rupees is the monthly amount of investment she is going to make. After how many years? After 5 years. So from the beginning of 6th year, she is going to start the investment. Up to the end of the 10th year, she is going to make the investment. Okay, so after 10th year, the 10th year would be over. She do not want to withdraw the amount. She wants to keep the amount for further 2 years in that particular account only. So in that, you will keep fetching the interest, but you will stop your investment. You're not going to invest in 11th and 12th year, but yes, on whatever the amount which is already accumulated in your account, you are going to get the interest on it. So let's try to understand the timeline of it. So after how many years she wants to get the money? After 12th year. So here we are at the beginning. Now she is not going to invest up to the 5 years. So this is, say, the end of 5th year. So there is no investment taking place over here. No investment. She is going to start the investment at the beginning of 6th year and up to the end of 10th year. So there will be an annuity only applicable to this period. For how many years? For 5 years. So, sir, for that, which formula will be useful? Very simple. If the annuity is ordinary, then you will use for 5 years this ordinary formula. And if the annuity is due, then you will use the annuity due formula. This period will be altogether completely ignored, because anyway you want to know the amount after 12th year, you want to know the future value. So if you are not able to make the investments for the initial 5 years, then there is absolutely no need to think about that period. You need to ignore it. Very simple. Apply the annuity formula here for 5 years. Right? Once you apply the formula, so you get the FV after which year? After 10th year. But she do not want to withdraw this money after the end of the 10th year. This money will still be there in her account, and she will keep fetching the interest of, say, whatever the amount of percentage she has decided, for further 2 years. So here you will have to again apply the formula. You want FV after 12th year. So whatever the amount which you have got after the end of 10th year, no, put it over there. Plus you will have to again do the compounding for further how many years? For further 2 years. Because this money will be there in that account. So that's a deferred annuity. Very simple, very clear. Everyone is clear with that? If you have any doubt, you can again clarify that to me. Till now, everyone is clear? Guys, just give me the confirmation so I can move ahead and I get the confidence that whether you have got or not. I cannot interpret the silence. You will have to say no or yes to me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any doubt till now, guys? Surely. Okay. Then say there is no specific amount which we are investing in on yearly basis. The amount of investment is getting changed on periodic basis. So for that, we'll have to follow the procedure of differential cash flows. And to find the future value of differential cash flows, you prepare the 4 columns. Number one is serial number. Then you put the amount of investment. Then you put compounding factor. And the last one would be your FV. So say if you are going to invest for 5 years, so I'm giving the example of the differential cash flow now. You are going to invest, say, 1000, then 2000, then 3000, then 4, and then 5. Now it cannot be called an annuity, sir. Why it cannot be called an annuity? Because the amount of investment is getting changed over a period of time, so it's not an annuity. So each and every single transaction will have to take differently, separately. So we'll have to multiply this amount with the compounding factor, and the formula for the compounding factor is 1 plus r raised to n. For year number 1, if the investments are made at the beginning of each year, then the compounding for the year number will be applicable for how many years? Sir, 4 years. Here the compounding will be applicable for 4 in the first one, sorry, it would be 5, then in second one 4, then in third one 3, then 2, and here it would be 1. But this will be the case when amounts are invested at the beginning of each period. But if the same amounts are invested at the end of each period, then here instead of 5, there would be 4, then there would be 3, then there would be 2, then there would be 1, and here there would be 1 only. So power would be 0. Because if you are investing at the end of the year, then you will be getting the interest for only 4 years, right? For the first one. And if you multiply this compounding factor and amount, you get the future value. And if you keep on adding these future values, after 5 years, you will have to do the total of it, and you get the summation of all the future values. So this is the entire FV. Now, what is the doubt? What is the thing which you haven't understood in this FV? Can you tell me so I can repeat it further? Otherwise, I'll be assuming now that you have got the entire concept of FV. Very simple, everyone. Hello, guys. Keep interacting with me. And thing is that I cannot see the messages which you keep on putting over here. No, so you'll have to keep me updated by putting your by giving me your verbal replies by unmuting yourself. Okay. So once this FV is clear, let's move to the PV now. Try to understand the PV right from the scratch. Okay. So let's go to the PV now. In PV as well, something first. Now try to understand this. Huh? Please make it very sure that these fundamentals and concepts are applicable for the cash inflow as well as for the cash outflow. Let me give you a simple example. Say there is 10,000 rupees you want to get after 5 years. So one may ask, sir, that what amount of investment I should do right now to get 10,000 rupees after 5 years? Very simple understanding. No need to worry about that. Okay. There is another interpretation of this. Try to understand. If I will have to pay 10,000 rupees after the end of the 5 year, then what amount of loan I have taken right now? So that is applicable to loan as well, and that is applicable to the investment as well. When you take the loan, you are having the inflow right now, and you will be having the outflow at this moment. Loan, we are not paying the installment, we are going to pay after 5 years. Say whatever the interest which has been added on it, we will straight away pay it to you after 5 years. So 10,000 rupees is the amount which I am going to pay after 5 years. So what is the amount of loan I have taken right now? So that is the PV. So in both the in loan, there is an inflow first and then there is an outflow. But in investment, there is first an outflow and then there is inflow. Because first you invest and then you get something out of it. Yes or no? So if someone says that, sir, I want 10,000 rupees after the end of the 5th year, then what amount I should invest now? So at that point of time as well, the PV formula will be useful. And if someone says that I am going to pay the principal repayment as well as the interest after the end of the 5th year, the 10,000 rupees, then what amount of loan I have taken right now? So two interpretations out of it. So as I have already clarified to all of you right from the first lecture that the same formula and fundamentals are applicable to the outflow as well as to the inflow. In case of a loan, right now you have the inflow because you are receiving the amount right now. And then you are going to pay the interest as well as the principal repayment after the end of the 5th year. And in investment, this is investment, this is loan. In investment, first you do the outflow. First you invest something, and then after the end of the 5th year, you will be getting something. So first you do the outflow, and then you will be getting the inflow. But there is absolutely no change in the formula. There is just a change in the interpretation. Formula will be the same. The PV formula only will have to apply in both the cases. But there will be just a change in the interpretation. Again, I'm clarifying that because many of the students were getting confused over there, because sometimes I was using the terminology of investments and sometimes I was using the terminology of the loan. So the people were like, sir, loan के ऊपर करना है कि investments के ऊपर apply करना है? बेटा दोनों के ऊपर same formula होगा, सिर्फ interpretation अलग अलग है. Clarifying that interpretation again. So listen it very carefully. Sir, what amount I should invest right now to get 10,000 rupees after the end of the 5th year? So again, you are going to find the PV for that. Sir, if I will be paying the 10,000 rupees as the principal repayment as well as the interest after the end of the 5th year, then what is the amount of loan I have taken now? This is the present value loan. As simple as that. Very clear? So this is applicable to inflow as well as to outflow. Now it should be very clear to all of you. If you have any doubt in interpretation of this, you can clarify that to me right now. Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so in PVF as well, there is first a single transaction. In single transaction, There are two type of compounding, as I've already stated. One is periodic compounding, another one is continuous compounding. Then when periods cannot be identified, we will be using the continuous compounding. Okay, so how do we interpret that? Sir, if I want 10,000 rupees after 5 years, then what amount I should invest right now? So I am supposed to find the PV for that. So which formula will be applicable? Single transaction formula will be applicable. So there is no need to clarify that again. So let's move to the next one now. Then it comes an annuity. Because application of formula is not that much difficult, no? Interpreting the results and applying the suitable formula at the appropriate places, that is important. So once you know the formula, that which formula will be applicable in which kind of a sum, then calculation तो easy हो जाता है, वो तो कोई भी कर सकता है. So my focus more is on the interpretation part of it. So now it's an annuity. Now again I'm clarifying that this is applicable to investments and this is applicable to loan as well. And in both the cases, how you are going to interpret this? So let me take the very simple example of ordinary annuity. First, we'll understand the perspective from the investment part, and then we will understand the perspective from the loan part. Okay. Say you are investing right now something, but you do not know the amount of it. But at the end of every month, say you are going to receive the pension. So your question to me straightforward is that, sir, I want to receive the pension of 5,000 rupees on monthly basis. Pension of 5,000. Now pension is what? Pension is the inflow for you. It's an income for you. I want to, sir, receive 5,000 rupees of pension on every month basis. Say for next 5 years, what amount I should invest now? So pension that you are going to receive, 5,000 rupees is an annuity. Yes or no? Because that is on monthly basis. In every month you are going to receive this. So your question is that, sir, I am going to invest this 5,000 rupees for 5 years. So 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. In 1 year you have 12 months. So there would be 60 amount of investments of 5,000. So what amount of investment I should do now to get this pension? Very simple. So it's a terminology of the investment. That is a one interpretation. Number two interpretation is, try to understand this. Say if I'm going to pay the installment of 5,000 rupees for the loan I have taken. For how many periods? 60 periods. So what is the amount of loan I have taken? Loan you take in the present value, right? Right now you are taking the loan and then you are paying the installments. So what is the loan amount I have taken right now? So both the interpretations have clarified to you. Again, clarifying the first interpretation of it. That, sir, if I need the 5,000 rupees of pension on monthly basis, that will be the inflow. Then what outflow I should make now? So I want to find the present value. So that is from the perspective of the investments. Sir, if I am going to make the payment of 5,000 rupees on monthly basis for next 60 months, then what is the amount of loan I have taken? So that is the present value. Ordinary annuity. And if you are making at the end of this month, then it's ordinary. And if we take the same example where you are making these payments or you are receiving this pension at the beginning of each month, then it becomes annuity due. So that formula will be applicable to you. Are you all getting this, guys? Any doubt till now in these two examples I have given to you? If you have any doubt, clarify that to me straight away right now. Every one of you.
No, sir.
Giving you 30 seconds to interpret it further. Okay, so now there comes a deferred annuity, which is again a bit of a mess in terms of understanding. So let's go to the deferred annuity. Now we are focusing on present value, how we are going to interpret this. Okay, so try to understand this. Say you have taken some amount of loan right now. You want to know what amount of loan you have taken, but up to 5 years you are not going to pay any installments on it. You are going to pay the amount of 5,000 rupees after the end of the 5th year. Now there can be terms in the agreement. You may say that to him that it's okay, bhai, whatever is there, I'm not going to pay any installment for this 5 years. But yes, after the end of the 5 year, I will start paying 5,000 rupees to you. For how many years? For 5 years. So that would be the end of 10th year. So I'm going to pay 5,000 rupees for how many periods? Sir, 60 period. But that will be started after the beginning of the 6th year. For this many years, I'm not going to pay any amount to you. So what is the amount of loan I have taken now? अब जो बैंक वाला है वो बुद्धू तो नहीं है, उसके पास भी दिमाग है, उसके पापा ने भी उनको च्यवनप्राश खिलाया है, तो वो क्या बोलेगा कि ये 5 साल के लिए मैं तुझे ऐसे तो नहीं दे सकता भैया पैसा, तो इसके ऊपर क्या लगेगा तुझे? इंटरेस्ट लगेगा। ये 5 साल के ऊपर तुझे इंटरेस्ट लगता जाएगा लगता जाएगा लगता जाएगा, फिर यहाँ पे एक अमाउंट तेरा गैदर हो जाएगा, उसको तू पे करना शुरू कर दे अब तक। So you are supposed to find the present value. So how you are interpreting the question of it? Interpretation would be like, sir, what amount of loan I have taken right now, if I am going to pay the installments after the end of the 5th year. So that means from the beginning of the 6th year, I am going to pay the installments, 5,000 rupees. And how many installments I am going to pay? 60. So in this case, there is a deferment period. You are not going to pay the installments for this 5 years. You will start the installments after the end of the 5th year. Very simple. So that was from the perspective of the loan. Now let's understand the similar deferred annuity concept from the perspective of the investment, right? So try to understand the timeline again. Sir, what amount I should invest now if I want to receive the pension after the end of the 5 years, 5,000 rupees for 60 periods? That means for how many years? For 5 years. So that would be the end of 10th year. Now there can be your requirement. You may say that I want to invest something right now. There are various investment plans, pension plans, in which you will be investing right now, but right from the first year, you will not be given the money. There are various such type of an insurance and pension plans. So you want to invest something lump sum right now. So you want to know that what amount I should invest right now if I want to receive 5,000 rupees on monthly basis for 60 months after the end of the 5th year. So there is a deferment period coming over here, yes or no? So here again, whatever the amount you will be investing, आप बुद्धू तो नहीं हो, क्योंकि आपके पापा और मम्मी ने भी आपको च्यवनप्राश खिलाया है, तो आप ये 5 साल के लिए इंटरेस्ट तो रिसीव करोगे कि नहीं करोगे? सो इंटरेस्ट तो रिसीव करोगे। हाँ सर, करेंगे हम रिसीव। So unlike the future value, you are not going to ignore this period, deferment period, in the present value. Present value में आप उसको इग्नोर नहीं कर सकते। फ्यूचर वैल्यू में आपको इग्नोर करना था, क्योंकि आपको ये वैल्यू फाइंड करना है। तो आप एनीवे सोचोगे कि भाई ये अमाउंट का तो ये अमाउंट का तो कुछ इंटरेस्ट मिलने वाला नहीं है, मैं तो इन्वेस्टमेंट करने वाला हूँ इधर से, तो इधर से करूंगा, तो व्हाट विल बी द अमाउंट ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट आफ्टर द एंड ऑफ द 10th year? So we were ignoring this period in the future value, but in present value you cannot ignore this period, because what is the interpretation of the present value? What amount I should get 5,000 rupees on monthly basis for how many years? For 5 years. So आप बुद्धू तो नहीं हो कि आप ये 5 साल का इंटरेस्ट नहीं लोगे. So here this deferment period matters. So that's why we were applying the formula of this one. I hope you would have applied it. PV equal to I divided by R. I stands for the installment amount. Then We were doing 1 divided by 1 plus r raised to m minus 1 divided by 1 plus r raised to m plus n. So that was the formula we were doing. So m was the deferment period. So unlike PV, here in this case, deferment period matters to us, right? So again, I'm doing this two, I've clarified these two interpretations. Now I'm asking this interpretation from your side. Now, can someone tell me what you have interpreted from this example? Who will tell me? You need to just repeat whatever I have said about this example. Who will tell me? Please tell me. Unmute yourself and let me know. Okay, my question is to Chandni. Chandni, can you hear me, beta? Just give me the confirmation by saying yes or no. Hello, Chandni. No. Okay, so Dhruvi has said, sir, can you repeat the investment part in deferred annuity? Absolutely. Why not? Let's try to understand again. Okay. Now, say, sir, I want to invest something right now and I do not want the return for the next 5 years. No, that is not my requirement. Now, this kind of a planning is applicable to those people who are at the end of their retirement. So, this kind of a planning will be useful for the retirement people. Say someone wants to retire at the end of the 60th year. Take the example of one of your parents only. If he or she is working right now, your mother or father, and say she or he is having the age of 55, and he wants to retire at the end of the 60th year. So from 60th to say up to the end of 65th year, he wants some pension because he is going to retire, no? So after the retirement, he is not going to receive any income from this salary. So what he will do, he will plan something that right now I am receiving something. So I have amount for the investment. So what I'm doing, that what amount I should invest right now, his goal is very clear that from the 61st year, I'm talking from the perspective of the age, huh? Not from the number of years. Up to the end of 65th year, I want 5,000 rupees on monthly basis. So that is the amount of pension I want to receive. Right? Now he wants to receive that. So that is the cash inflow. And if you want to do the cash inflow, then right now you will have to do the cash outflow. So what amount you should invest right now? Sir, what amount I should invest right now so that I will be getting 5,000 rupees on monthly basis starting from the end of the 5th year. So in terms of age, if we speak, starting from the age of 61st year. Right now he is at the age of 55. Is it clear, Dhruvi? Have you got it now? So obviously whatever the amount of investment you are getting, आप फूल तो नहीं हो, आप बुद्धू तो नहीं हो, और स्पेशली जब आपको रौनक सर ने पढ़ाया तो फिर आप बिल्कुल बुद्धू नहीं हो सकते. तो ये 5 साल का तो आप इंटरेस्ट रिसीव करोगे ही करोगे. So here this deferment period matters to you, unlike the future value. Got it now?
Yes, sir.
Surely.
Yes, sir. Means if we invest now at 55th year, and we will receive interest of that amount till 60th year.
Yes.
Means we are not ignoring this period.
Absolutely correct. Because आप इन्वेस्ट करोगे अभी कुछ, तो बेटा आपको इसके ऊपर भी तो इंटरेस्ट मिलेगा.
Yes, yes, sir.
So आपको रिसीव करना है, सर मुझे 5-5 हजार रुपए चाहिए, राइट फ्रॉम द. I'm sorry. And don't worry, it's not a corona. Yes, please. Yes, yes. हाँ बताइए बेटा, बोलिए. ये तो सर कह के हाउगली कह के गायब हो गया। कौन था बेटा बताइए, कोई बात नहीं।
सर मतलब
अरे मैं
61 ईयर से लेके 65 ईयर तक वो इन्वेस्ट करेगा नहीं, कुछ तो
इन्वेस्ट नहीं कर रहा है, वो
मतलब इंटरेस्ट मिलता रहेगा।
वो रिसीव कर रहा है, कैश इनफ्लो हो रहा है उसका, वो रिसीव कर रहा है, वो रिसीव कर रहा है। 5,000-5,000 रुपए वो रिसीव कर रहा है, तो अभी उनको कितना इन्वेस्ट करना पड़ेगा। अच्छा, देर इज अ थर्ड काइंड ऑफ एन इंटरप्रिटेशन एज वेल, ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड। ओके, सो इफ समवन विल स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट at the 61st year and he will keep investing till the end of 62nd year, 65th year. So for how many years he is going to invest? For 5 years. So this is the third interpretation of it. Try to understand. For every month he is going to invest some or other kind of an amount. Some or other मतलब कि 5,000 रुपए फिक्स है, तो ये एन्युटी कहलाएगा. So if you want to know that what will be the present value of all these investments right now, ये सबका इन्वेस्टमेंट का प्रेजेंट वैल्यू अभी कितना है, then also deferred annuity will be applicable. That is the third interpretation. Again I am clarifying right from the first one. अगर आपका 5,000 रुपए इंस्टॉलमेंट आता है 6th ईयर के बिगिनिंग से और आप वो इंस्टॉलमेंट पे कर रहे हो अप टू द एंड ऑफ द 10th ईयर, ठीक है, तो आपने अभी कितना लोन लिया हुआ है, तो उसके लिए आप कौन सा वाला फॉर्मूला यूज करते हो? सर हम इसके लिए डेफर्ड एन्युटी प्रेजेंट वैल्यू का फॉर्मूला यूज करते हैं। ये दूसरा इंटरप्रिटेशन में आते हैं, सर मुझे 5,000 रुपए मिलेंगे, 5,000 रुपए मिलेंगे, कौन से वाला ईयर से मिलेंगे? 5वें साल के एंड से शुरू होगा, तो 6th ईयर से लेके 10th ईयर तक मुझे 5,000 रुपए मिलेंगे। अगर वो 5,000 रुपए जो मुझे मिलेंगे उसके लिए मुझे आज कभी कितना इन्वेस्ट करना है, तो मैं कौन सा वाला फॉर्मूला यूज करूंगा? डेफर्ड एन्युटी प्रेजेंट वैल्यू। चलो सर थर्ड में जाते हैं। सर मैं इन्वेस्ट शुरू करने वाला हूं 61st ईयर से 5,000 रुपए का, तो ये मेरा कैश आउटफ्लो होगा, ठीक है। तो सर ये जितना भी कैश आउटफ्लो मैं करने वाला हूं उसका प्रेजेंट वैल्यू अभी कितना है, तो उसके लिए भी सेम फॉर्मूला एप्लीकेबल होगा। अब समझ में आया कि नहीं समझ में आया बेटा?
सर तो इसमें तो फिर डेफरमेंट पीरियड तो हमने इग्नोर किया, वो ही नहीं हुआ।
नहीं किया ना बेटा, इग्नोर नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि आप जो 5,000 रुपए इन्वेस्ट करोगे, ठीक है,
यस सर,
उस 5,000 रुपए जो आप इन्वेस्ट करोगे उसका वैल्यू, जो 5,000 रुपए वो आज का दिन का वैल्यू वो सेम नहीं है ना, आज वो अलग है। आज वो से फॉर एग्जाम्पल 3,000 ही हो सकता है, या फिर 3,500 ही हो सकता है, या फिर 4,000 ही हो सकता है, बिकॉज मनी इज
yes,
हैविंग द अर्निंग पावर. So that's why you're not ignoring this deferring period over here. Same formula, PV of deferred annuity you are going to apply there. Are you getting it? But this type of a question shall be avoided. This kind of a questions will not be there. Only these two interpretations are highly used interpretations as far as the deferred annuity are concerned. And I tell you, this is the 11th lecture we are taking on the time value of money. You will never see such kind of a comprehensive explanation as far as the time value of money is concerned. You would have already got time value of money in some of your subjects, but you have seen that you were doing from the table, you were finding the factors, and then you were just applying. Only in annuity as well, you were just taught annuity due or annuity ordinary. This is the best, most possible comprehensive explanation possible from my side. And even if you have doubt, and હજી પણ કદાચ જો 5 લેક્ચર હજી વધારે લેવા પડે તો I am ready to take it. But until and unless even a single student, every single student, unto the last person of the society, unto the last person of my class, જ્યાં સુધી એનો એક પણ ડાઉટ ક્લેરિફાઈ નહીં થાય ત્યાં સુધી મારે આગળ નથી વધવું. સમજાય છે કે નથી સમજાતું? હજી મને કયો, હજી હું તમને n નંબર ઓફ એક્ઝામ્પલ્સ, આ બધાના એક્ઝામ્પલ્સ છે ને મેં ઓલરેડી તમને આપેલા છે તમારા ક્વેશ્ચન બેંક ની અંદર. તમને ક્વેશ્ચન બેંક તમે જોઈ છે તમારા ઓલાની અંદર, પોર્ટલ ની અંદર બેટા, એવરી વન ઓફ યુ?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so all these examples are already there. Acha, try to understand one more type of an example. You will tell me, now I'm just giving the example and you are supposed to tell me that which formula will be applicable, whether PV or FV. Try to understand. I'm just putting across the examples in front of you. Say I am going to do the down payment of 2 lakhs rupees. This is my down payment. And I am going to pay 5,000 rupees per month as an installment. Right? For how many years? For 5 years. So what is the amount of loan taken? Who will tell me whether it's an annuity or single transaction or differential cash flow? Reply me by unmuting yourself. All of you. I hope my question is clear. You are paying the 2 lakhs rupees as the down payment. Right? You want to know that what is the amount of loan you have taken. Say you have paid the down payment for home. You have purchased one home and 5,000 rupees is the installment you are going to pay for every month. For how many years? 5 years. So how many months would be there? 60 months. So this 5,000 rupees, you are going to pay. So what is the amount of loan taken? Which formula will be applicable, putting across the question in front of all the students? What you are supposed to find here, everyone? Keep replying me by unmuting yourself. We are less in numbers, so there is no need to interact through the chat box. We can directly interact better. Unmute yourself. We are supposed to find the loan amount, right? So if I am going to pay 5,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, then I am going to find the PV. So it's a PV of annuity. And if this 5,000 rupees is paid at the end of every month, then it would be ordinary annuity. Otherwise, it will be annuity due. So you are supposed to apply the formula of PV of annuity due or ordinary annuity, as simple as that. और जो आपका लोन का अमाउंट आ जाएगा, ठीक है, उस लोन के अमाउंट से आप 2 लाख रुपए ऐड कर दोगे. लोन का अमाउंट से फॉर एग्जांपल 15 lakhs आता है और उसमें 2 लाख रुपए आप ऐड कर दोगे, तो आपका होम का वैल्यू कितना हो गया? होम के लिए आपने कितना पे किया? सर डाउन पेमेंट एक तो आपने 2 लाख रुपए पे कर दिए प्लस 15 लाख रुपए हमारा लोन का इंस्टॉलमेंट आता है. सो दैट कम्स अराउंड 17 lakhs. Very simple. Are you all getting it surely? Let me know.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's go to one more example. You are supposed to tell me that which formula will be applicable in that example. Sir, I want to receive the pension. Right now I am having the age of 25. This is my only. चलो मेरा ही एग्जांपल लेते हैं. मेरी अभी जो एज है 25, मुझे अभी से रिटायरमेंट प्लानिंग करना है. मैं 45 पे रिटायर हो जाऊंगा, ठीक है, और मुझे लगता है कि मुझे उसके बाद हर महीने 10,000 रुपए चाहिए एज अ पेंशन अप टू द एंड ऑफ 65th ईयर. तो मुझे अभी कितना इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए? What amount I should invest now to get this 10,000 rupees of pension on monthly basis once I will complete the age of 45. Now matlab ki at the age of 25. Now which formula will be applicable? Who will tell me? Try to analyze this question.
Present value of deferred annuity.
Absolutely correct. Who was there?
Chandni.
Yes, Chandni, thank you very much. It's the present value of deferred annuity. Right now I am at the age of 25. I will start my investment at the age of 45. Sorry, I will start getting some amount of pension after the end of 45. And what will be the amount of pension I'm going to get? 10,000 rupees on monthly basis. So what amount I should invest now to get 10,000 rupees up to the age of 65th year? So this period is the deferment period. Very clear? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
thank you. Thank you. So this is the brief overview. Now, after this, once you have the details and once you know how to analyze and interpret these questions in different kind of circumstances, then applying the formula and putting everything in the formula and solving this out becomes very easy, because in that you won't have to put too much of intellect to understand. वो तो बच्चों का खेल है, 5वीं 8वीं 10वीं का मैथमेटिक्स है, सॉल्व करते जाओ और फाइनल आंसर दे दो. ये इंटरप्रिटेशन और एनालिसिस में ही टाइम देना पड़ता है, राइट? सो दैट इज the PV and FV at a glance. If you still have any problem with the PV or FV in understanding any concept of it, you can clarify that to me. Else, I am winding of this PV FV, and from the next lecture onwards, we will go do it in the Excel. All these things we have done, no, we will be able to do it within a fraction of minute by using certain formulas in the Excel. We are going to prepare certain metrics, certain kind of data tables, and that will be purely very practical examples. So bit of a hands-on experience on the Excel as well you are going to get. So from the next lecture onwards, you will have to keep yourself accompanied with the computer. So all of you will be able to keep computer with you. Laptop, please. Just give me the confirmation, guys. Okay, thank you very much. So this everything we have done now, we are going to do it in the Excel by using the functions which are already there in the Excel. So remain over here. I am taking the attendance. Do not leave the class. Remain here only. Just sharing the attendance file to all of you. Okay. So I have got my attendance file. BBA FM. I'm copying the link and putting it over there in your chat box. So everyone must be able to see a chat box. Please file your attendance over there and then you may leave the class. Those who will file the attendance may leave the class after this. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Take care. Sayonara. All the best. Everyone, please do not leave the class without filing your attendance, else I'll not be able to put it in my system. I can see only 15 have filed the attendance till now. But there were 19 present, 18 present in my class. Once it is done, you may leave the class. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Take care.